Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. As always, we're going to do a weekly outlook, right? So I'm going to share with you my watch list for this week, the pairs I'm interested in, so only the clean ones, and the draw liquidity for each one and the potential point of interest that price might potentially use them to reach the draw on liquidity. So without any further introductions, let's just get started. And as you can see that the watch list doesn't have any dollar pairs, right? So no DXY, no euro. And the reason for that is that I'm waiting for more price action to confirm my buys, right? I need maybe a day or two. I have an idea in mind, but for now, I'm going to stay on the sideline. That doesn't mean that DXY or dollar pairs are not tradable at the moment. They are totally tradable and you can take trades on them. But for my taste, for my trading plan, I'm going to wait, all right? So let's start with the first pair. And as you can see, I'm more interested in GPY pairs. I believe they are moving smoothly, right, to the upside because GPY is weak at the moment. And it has been weak for a lot of time, honestly. So I'm going to focus on GPY for this week. So let's start with the first pair. This is GJ, right? So let's start with the weekly time frame. Let's see what do we have. The order flow is clearly bullish. We are disrespecting bearish PD rates like this fair value gap, for example, and we hit our draw on liquidity. So we talked about that in the previous weekly outlook video. We were here. So I did a video on Sunday and I told it I'm looking for a move from this internal range liquidity to this external range liquidity and also this volume imbalance, and price did exactly that. So this is basic market structure: expansion, retracement, expansion, retracement, or a pullback, and then expansion. For this week, I'm looking for a continuation of buys into this external range liquidity and higher prices. So I'm going to wait for price to come back to this daily fair value gap, and then I would look for hourly market structure shifts, so change in the order flow in the time frames that are below the daily. So if we go to the 1 hour, we can see that we might have a potential move from this fair value gap right here into this inefficiency. So as I told you before, price moves from internal range liquidity, right, to external range liquidity. So internal and then external, so expansion, and then a pullback, and then another expansion. So basically we can ride into that internal range liquidity on the daily, so we can ride the pullback, but I don't recommend that. Now can you guess the reason why you shouldn't take the pullback on the daily time frame? So as you can see here, a pullback and then another pullback. Can you guess the reason? So one reason is that the GPY is weak. Although we can expect a pullback just like this, but it will not be a smooth move to the downside. It will be choppy and you will see a lot of manipulations. So if you go to the 1 hour, you will see it clearly. As you can see that the expansion is smooth and clean, but the pullback is choppy. Smooth expansion, choppy pullback, smooth expansion, and a choppy pullback. So if you want to ride that pullback, it won't be nice. You will have a lot of consolidations. Price might stay on the entry a lot of time and you can easily get stopped out. So I prefer to buy from this fair value gap rather than take the short from here, right? So it is your choice. Of course, you can ride the short, but I prefer, for my taste, I prefer to take low resistance liquidity expansion to here, all right? So let's move on to another pair. And this is the euro against the Japanese yen. Let's go to the daily time frame. And as you can see, pretty much the same, just like GJ. These two pairs are correlated. We have an expansion and I'm waiting for price to return to this fair value gap. If we go to the weekly time frame, we can see that we closed above this weekly fair value gap. And I don't believe that price should come back all the way to here. I believe that this fair value gap right here, this inverted fair value gap, should offer support to go higher into this higher right here. So this is the terminus for me. This is a draw on a liquidity, right? And of course, we have the high of the previous week as the first draw on liquidity. If we go to the daily time frame, we have an expansion as always, and I'm looking for that pullback into this fair value gap, and then we should see higher prices. So I'm looking for a change in the order flow inside this point of interest. Target this high, previous week high, and we have also this inefficiency on the upside. So this is the first target, and even if price did this, so maybe something like this, taking the high and then going to this fair value gap, I would be still looking for a move to here. So I'm gonna update my target, so it would be here, because we are expecting higher prices, right? So for now, I'm gonna stay on the sideline until my point of interest has been reached. All right, let's move on to another pair, and pretty much the same. These three pairs tends to move together, so we have an expansion, and I'm looking for a retracement to here, right, to this fair value gap, maybe some wicks into discount, and then a continuation to the upside, taking this and this. So here's a tip: most of the times on these three pairs, correlated pairs, the setup will happen at the same time. The setup to buy will happen at the same time, but you need to choose strong currency with weak currency. So at that day, at that particular day, when that setup offers itself, if GBP is stronger than the euro and the Canadian dollar, right, then you need to go with GBP, right? And all you have to do to determine which one is stronger is to analyze. For example, if you want to determine which currency is stronger, whether it is the euro or the GBP, all you have to do is to look at the euro GBP chart, right? And if you want to determine whether the GBP or the Canadian dollar is stronger, so to determine which pair to buy, whether the CAD GBY or the GBP GPY, all you have to do is to go to the GBP CAD pair and come out with an idea of where price is likely to go. And that's it. That's all you have to do. So as you can see, everything is clear here. Let's move on to another pair. And this is an index. This is the DAX or Germany 40. If we go to the weekly time frame, we have this fair value gap right here, right? So the order flow is clearly bullish. We have a weekly fair value gap, and we also tapped into this breaker block, right? We cleared liquidity from here, this move. If we zoom in, let's see what do we have. So this is that breaker block on the weekly. So this week right here took liquidity from the previous week's low, right? We took liquidity into that inefficiency, and we saw a strong rejection to the upside. So I'm looking for a continuation to the upside, taking all this highs right here. So we have filled swings. We have liquidity above this. We have liquidity above this. It has never been burst. This one right here too, and this one. So I'm expecting a move to here. If we go to the daily time frame now and see what do we have. So we purchased previous week's low, right? And then moved higher. We have a change in state of delivery, right? So this is an order block. Let's remove it for now. And if you go to the 4 hour, we have an expansion higher. We have a break of structure, right? After tapping into that weekly fair value gap, we have a retracement, but we left this fair value gap open, and I believe this is only engineered liquidity, and maybe you can see another move to the downside, purging this short-term low into that inefficiency, right? So just like the weekly time frame, we had a short-term high, we purged it into inefficiency and rejected higher. So on the 4 hour, same thing, price is fractal. We have a short-term low, maybe we can take it into inefficiency and then a continuation to the upside. First target would be this fair value gap right here, and of course the filled swings on the weekly time frame. So this is my point of interest. I'm gonna stay on the sideline until this fair value gap gets tapped. Let's move on to another pair. Let's go to the daily time frame. This is the Australian dollar against the Canadian dollar. So pretty much the same thing. We have an expansion lower, right? We have a pullback, but we left this fair value gap open. So we didn't reach a premium yet. So I'm expecting this high to be taken. This is Friday's high. So just like the previous pair, we have a short-term high. I'm expecting for price to take this high into the inefficiency and then moving lower. So maybe Monday would run higher to form the high of the week, maybe, or maybe Tuesday high of the week, and then expansion lower. So I'm expecting something like this. This is the daily candle. I'm expecting Monday to trade higher, or Tuesday, forming the high of the week and then expansion lower, right? Creating the low of the week, maybe on Thursday or Friday, and then a retracement and closing above the low of the week. So just like this. So for this pair, this is my point of interest. Let's move on to the last pair, I guess. Yes. So what we have here on US 100, as you can see, we are trading at the all-time high. And if you are looking for shorts, then you need to be very careful. Don't try to hold during shorts. Take only small scalps, right? And your focus should be on buying rather than selling. So on the weekly, as you can see, you can just buy from here. You need to wait for a retracement into a PDRA and then looking for continuation to the upside. If you go to the daily time frame, I can see that we have a fair value gap right here. I'm going to wait for price to return to it, right? And it is located on discount. So the ideal scenario would be price trades lower into this fair value gap, and then I would look for change in the order flow again on the 1 hour and the 15-minute and the 5-minute time frame. As you can see that pretty much all of these pairs are still on the daily time frame. We have no hourly confirmations, right? So I would probably skip Monday, right? And wait for Tuesday, because I don't believe that all of the point of interest would be reached in the first day of the week. So I believe we have come to the end of this video. If you have any questions, please DM me on my Twitter account or leave a comment down below and I'll answer you as soon as I can. Happy trading and good luck.